Greetings, BC. Happy holidays. My Christmas tree is up, and I'm going through my year-end sort of list making a list, maybe checking it, I don't know, 15 times. No, not really. I don't think too hard about these lists, but I do like to do them. Yes, this is Seeking a Thread, my YouTube channel. It's a reflection of my radio show that I do. Check out the links to see that show or listen in. I've been doing my series on krautrock, and I thought I'd take a break. I'd like to sort of pepper those videos because I don't want to hit you too hard with those. So I'm going to do this. I haven't done a vinyl finds video yet, so I might as well do my first one as my vinyl finds of the year. All right, before I get to that, I thought I would take this moment to try to enter a contest. First one I've done of those as well. Vinyl Archivist is giving away a very generous gift of that Blue Train to show your Wallflowers, which is sort of a record that relatively cheap that I guess people don't show or people don't talk about. So I came up with two really quickly that come to mind. First one is Christopher Milk. This is a one-off record, sort of power pop glam, but good catchy songs, good songwriting on this. It's sort of a strange story. I think this guy was like a journalist, and Lester Bangs gets mentioned on here, produced by Chris Thomas. And I haven't listened to this in a while, but this is good. It is on the Reprise label. And this is like a $5 record. This is a super clean copy. You should be able to find this in many a shop. Look through their C section. It's not under his name, or Christopher Milk is not the main songwriter or whatever. That's the band. And I'll insert here who what the sort of the background is on the story of this record. But I know one of the guys in here was a journalist, and like I said, there's a Lester Bangs thing going on here. But this is solid. Like I said, if you like this sort of Sparks era, a little bit of Thin Lizzy. That power pop sound from the mid 70s, well, really late 70s, but a glammy vibe for sure. Singer-songwriter-esque, good riffs. Christopher Milk, a Wallflower. I haven't really used that expression for that type of record. And the other one, I don't know how many people show this. Maybe some do. I haven't seen it, but it's the one and only album by the Rockets on White Whale. If you don't know, this is Crazy Horse before Neil Young drafted them into his band, Neil Young and Crazy Horse. This has got Danny Whitten, Billy Talbot, Ralph Molina, and a violinist. Now the violinist is Bobby Notkoff, and on the first Neil Young and Crazy Horse album, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, you'll see that there's a Requiem, and it features Bobby Notkoff. Or I think it says Requiem for Notkoff, I think it is. I'm assuming that's him on there. But this is Crazy Horse. This is really good. Really great songs. Crunchy, sort of a bit of a West Coast rural vibe to it. But of course, yeah, Danny Whitten is on here. Didn't get to do much in his life. He did contribute to that early Neil Young album, Crazy Horse. Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. We toured with him. But of course, Billy Talbot, Ralph Molina with Neil Young to this day. So this is a Wallflower to me. I don't know. Maybe people have shown it and I haven't seen it. But a super underrated album. A little more pricey than the Christopher Milk. Maybe $10 to $15. Maybe a little more, but somewhere in that range. Awesome. All right, my vinyl finds of the year. I do have some 45s. I do collect a lot of 45s, so I wanted to show those first. And I love reggae. And this is Derek Harriot's Let Me Down Easy on the Crystal label with the version on the flip. There's a few different labels of this, but this is just a super beautiful dubby, of course, great rhythm, super catchy bass line. It's got it all. The hook, great song. Shouldn't be too much. I think I found this for around $15. Not cheap, but I think it goes for even a little more. Of course, you get the requisite writing on the label. Another reggae record. This one now, Rupie Edwards. If you don't know who this is, I didn't know who he was. When I'm cooking dinner, the family here, got the kids rolling, a lot of times we'll put on reggae and sort of, we'll do this one, we'll do the Spotify, and we'll sort of like put on a track and let it go from there. A lot of times it doesn't surprise me with what it plays. But this song came on, and I was like, what is this song? I don't know it. And it's Irie Feelings. And it's so good. It's weird. He's got a weird vocal style. And I immediately had to figure out what it was and go find it out. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like a really pricey 45. But no, this is not. This is like the French picture sleeve. And there's an LP, too, under the same, I think it's called Irie Feelings as well. Which is good, but this song is the one to check out. He has a real cool vocal style. It's called Skanga, is what it's really called. Skanga? Skanga?
I'm feeling high, so high. Runner in my head. Runner.
Alright, that's the reggae from my 45s. I love post-punk as well. And particularly the early to mid-80s and the late 70s. But this is morbid opera. Now, I found out about this from the Subnormal Girls comps, which are unofficial comps of all women-led post-punk. And they're perfect. They're awesome. Great bands, great picks, super obscure. And this is one of them. So I sought this one out. This is on the Sublapse label out of Miami, Florida. I've got the insert. This wasn't too much. This was 30, 40 bucks actually, but you know, for stuff like this, that's not too bad. And you can find it. This is from '83, and it's long. It's like a 6-song EP, and they really squeezed a lot onto this 45. The tracks are like not necessarily super short. The one I love the most is Private Prostitute. And I forget which song was featured on the Subnormal Girls. One of them was. Weird sleeve, too. Morbid opera. Last 45 I'll show is the second 45 single by Desperate Bicycles, essential UK post-punk. This is one I had on my want list for a long time once I got into post-punk. I have their LP on Refill Records. Yeah, Refill. And this is The Medium Was Tedium with Don't Back the Front. Same on both sides. It's like, feels like more like in the indie rock style, sort of a little bit more like monochrome set, but it's got the punk attitude, and this is all about DIY spirit on this. Really great organ. It's awesome. Hopefully I'll get that first single, I don't have that. But the LP is great too.
The medium was medium, the outlets were clogged. The rats were biting cats again, and everyone was not just another sound. The electrum, just another commercial venture. Scores, letters, cars, and we work just the same. Nothing ever changes, that's the things that we blame. It's a negative point of view, and I bet you've got it too.
To the LPs. First one I'll show is a Christmas one, and I'm going to do a Christmas video of all the weird Christmas records that I've collected over the many years. And this is maybe the crown jewel. Tim Dinkins, Christmas on the Moon, on the Cartwheel label. It's sort of like a song poem record, but it's a twisted ass country album. There he is. You can kind of get a good vibe of what's going on here. It's, as I said, it sort of has a song poem vibe. Super weird vocal. He sounds drunk half the time. There's like almost electronic sounds going on in this. It has an experimental thing happening, and just true weirdness. Like the weirder the better with Christmas stuff. Some of the kid vocals are just heartbreaking, and and just something to behold. Now I found this. This rarely comes up for sale, and I paid for it, but it goes for more. I think I paid like $80 for this. Hate to say it, but for a good Christmas record, it's worth it. You never see it. It never comes up for sale. It came up for sale in January of this year, 2020. I was like, this is the time to get Christmas records, but totally worth it.
3, 2, 1, send me rocket. We're so sorry, little reindeer. You and old red-nosed Rudolph gonna have to stay down here. Flip that switch and count us down. Hurry with my long to stay. Long, long way to go, and we must meet it by Christmas Day. Hey, hooray, send me rocket. Now we're off, I'll be there soon. Send me rocket, gonna see the children on the moon.
Shout out to Derek Higgins. He showed this record as one of his all-time favorite. And I'm a big jazz collector too. I don't have a pretty sizable collection. But I don't have much of the ECM label. I don't have a ton of sort of this ambient style cosmic sound, and that's what I'm looking for. This is just tranquil and meditative, and it just takes you somewhere, and it takes you somewhere else. It's fantastic. And he showed it, Derek, over the a few months back, and just the way he described it, but I just had to check it out. And lo and behold, at the record store I work at, this came in as a used. Someone sold it. I had to snag it. I had to pull it aside. It's just lovely. It's like ambient. It's jazzy. It's spiritual. It's beautiful. And he's played with Sun Ra. He played on some of the Bitches Brew sessions, Benny Maupin, and I forget what else. But also on here we have Herbie Hancock, Billy Hart, Bill Summers, Charles Sullivan, Charles Buster Williams, and Frederick Waits. All-time record. Thank you, Derek, for recommending that. Also jazz. Original pressing on stereo use of one of my favorite Pharoah Sanders albums. I had the reissue of this, and found a copy locally for about $40. Great deal. It goes considerably higher. I had a plunker down. Easy Fozam, My Gifts, on the Strategies label. This is kind of Pharoah at his most chaotic and insane and experimental. Absolutely, it kills. It wails. It's not for the faint heart. It does have some tranquil moments, but it ultimately it blazes. Super glad to have it. So I'm trying to show things that are truly finds, not just, stuff that I got a good deal on, like scores of some sort. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. So these are my favorites of the year in that regard. I've been looking for a while for the first album by J.D. Blackfoot, sort of a country rock, psych, rural, and this is a super clean copy. Now it's been going up in value, 50, 60, sometimes $75 for this. I'm just not paying for that. It feels like a $15 record to me. And I found a beautiful copy. And sometimes with sellers you get lucky. They price super conservatively. This was $23, so got the insert and everything very nicely. I think sometimes sellers are afraid to grade things higher than what they are, and they kind of want to go less just to sort of make sure they don't get into a whole dispute. And I understand, but way undergraded. And I'm happy to have a nice, beautiful copy. This is a great album. Toasty. It's got a Native American sort of spirit to it. And yeah, I'm always looking for the good sort of obscure singer-songwriter, psyche records, and this one fits the bill. 1970, I think this was. So this is a very tough one to get. This is Tripsichord, their first and only album on the San Francisco Sound / Janus. This is a promo copy. It's a radio station copy. Now this is a VG, probably VG, VG record. And the sleeve is written all over with a price sticker. So I got a very good deal on it. It's not in the best shape, but to get this for like 3 times, 4 times less than what it goes for, I'll take it. It's got writing all over it. It is a promo. But this is a great San Francisco acid record. You know, it's in that pocket. If you like the San Francisco sound, you need to check this out. There's a bunch of different versions of this. There's promo copies. I do dig the San Francisco sound label. And it's really good. I would never pay up $300-400 for what this goes for. To get it for, you know, way less. I was happy. And I'm always looking for those, you know, deep psych records that are actually good. To be specific. Because some of them are just, what is this? It's just silliness. Bad songs. People just getting down with the sound for a time. It's hard to find sometimes the ones that have truly mix all those things but give you the good songs. And Tripsichord is great. Now there is like, I'll have to look up the connection to who they were and where they came after. I forget that information. But good San Francisco stuff. Here's an all-time great folk record and folk artist, Bridget St. I knew about her, but just for some reason didn't get into her records. You know, I don't know, overlooked. And this is her first album for John Peel's Dandelion label. Ask Me No Questions. Really not that expensive. There's reissues of this. There's a the U.S. versions of her second album, Songs for the Gentleman, are pretty inexpensive here in the U.S. You can get them. But this is, like I said, yeah, the Dandelion label. And, you know, she has her voice is reminiscent of Nico, which maybe that hurts for some people, not for me. This is wonderful. It has a great tone to it, a great space, very patient. Her voice is beautiful, her songs are beautiful, and I can't recommend it enough. It's sort of straight, not straight, it's not really an acid folk album, but maybe in its tone or in its vibe it is. It's not it's not like a Joni Mitchell really. It's definitely left of center. And I ended up getting Songs for the Gentleman as well. And I think there's another one I would like to have, but this is the crown jewel to me. Pretty nice copy. The sleeve's not great, but the record is. And you can get this in the UK pretty, like I've said, if you're willing to go sometimes to ship things from abroad, you can get good deals actually. You end up paying less even with the shipping. Now, ordering records internationally right now has been a bit of a shit show, but worth trying, depending. Some countries are better than others. Germany has been a problem. I'll say that, Germany. Come on, get your act together. Well, we all gotta kind of get our act together, don't we? Vinyl Finds, going to continue with a few more. Also, a UK release. This is a first of Tucker Zimmerman's second album on the Village thing. This is a UK release, but an American songwriter. Now, I found out about him many years ago, and I've been trying to get this. His first album hasn't been reissued, and it's super, super rare. But I found out about this from the Numero Group's Lonesome Heroes comps, the Wayfaring Stranger. All the singer-songwriters. This is so good. His voice is unlike anyone else. It's very soft, but sort of has a very realness to it. Gentle. He's got great songs. There's great organ in this, which you don't kind of hear as much on these sorts of albums. But I love him. This guy's great. Tucker Zimmerman. These have been, I think Numero Group did even do standalone reissues of at least this album. So you can definitely get this for not very much. But if you're looking for interesting folk music with a bit of a psychedelic bent, I recommend Tucker Zimmerman.
The madman's on the town and it looks like rain. There's a movie going down, and all but one of us is going insane. I will. When Custer took his fall, he said to his wife, "Well, baby, that's life, and you can't win them all."
This is almost the last Them album. It's their sort of last of that second or third run. This is them in reality on the Happy Tiger. Yeah, the second album on Happy Tiger after the self-titled album. And this is a cool one. It's super doofy, is what I'll say. It only features one original member, who is, well, this is produced by Ray Ruff. The original member is, where is he on here? They barely even tell you who plays on this thing. It's a power trio, basically. It's like kind of a hard rock album with some just ridiculous, it just has a ridiculous vibe to it. Alan Henderson, the bass player, is the original Them member. They do Gloria, like a super stupid but awesome version. And everything has like a very sort of like haphazard, like it could fall apart at any moment, but rocks. And it's gotten hard to get this. It's on, like I said, Happy Tiger, and I kind of would say that it's one of the better, maybe best Them albums post Morrison. I love this, even considering the Psych records. I think it's better than Now and Them. It's better than the self-titled album. I like that one a lot. I don't have Time Out for Them. That's the only one I don't have. The other one on Tower. This one is super fun, super dumb, good times, good hard rock. Another UK folk album, and this one is a one-off, and he had a few singles, maybe one single. It's pretty collectible. I think it was on Duram. This is Denny Gerrard and Sinister Morning. This is quintessential UK folk. I don't know why it hasn't been reissued, but it is great songs. His voice is great. Weird design here. So good. I've played this a few times. It's got the Fairport Convention sort of tone, but psychedelic atmosphere, good songs, sort of wistful, stoned at times. It's the Decca Nova. There's a stereo and a mono edition of this from 1970. I can't recommend it enough. I've listened to it a lot in the last couple months since I've gotten it, and it hits all the right marks. If you like UK folk, if you like acid folk, a little bit of singer-songwriter vibes, stony, jammy quality. There's some long sort of workouts on this too. It's got it all. This is so great. Maybe my best find of the year in terms of getting something for like nothing. It rarely happens anymore. Found this at a thrift store, secondhand. Yeah, thrift store. It was a thrift store. Goodwill for $1. This is great. Found a bunch of some good Bowie records. Dave Van Ronk. Those were good to find. But this, Terry Riley and C, a classic ambient minimalism album. First press. Beautiful on the first 360 sound label. The gray, sort of what they use for their modern composer and classical series. I love Terry Riley, and I get the records when I can, and I've been looking for this anyway. And even the reissue tends to be like a $20, $25 record, so I was super thrilled to get this. Clean as heck. Terry Riley, music of our time. If you don't know this, it's an essential minimalist record. Stretched out, droney, but mind expanding. Terry Riley does some weird shit. Some of his records, he does his vocals, which I've gotten into. Not for everyone, but weird dude, and worth checking out. I got a bunch more I'll show at some point, but getting this for $1, no brainer. So, it doesn't happen so much anymore, so I felt like I had to make mention. And the final find of the year is Mountain Bus. This is a band, I believe it's out of Chicago, because this label is out of Chicago. 1971 on Good Records. Now, they were sued by Leslie West Mountain. What, just because they had Mountain in the title? Mountain's Mountain Bus, man. Leslie's Mountain Bus. Who cares? I'm always, as I've said a few times, I think I said in this video at least once, I'm always looking for good, rural, fried psych stuff, where it like goes between country rock and sort of swampy, obscure guitar rock. And this is it, man. This is it. This sounds like I don't like the Grateful Dead. I don't like them at all. But this sounds like, this is like the Grateful Dead, what they would sound like if they were really good. Just like Relatively Clean Rivers. I love that album, but it has like a Dead vibe to it, but it's amazing. This is it. It's got the jammy quality, like good dual vocals, good dual guitar attack. But then there's all these other parts of it where it just sort of like drifts, and it's got sort of like a layered guitar sort of instrumental passages where it gets all tranquil, and you know the vocalists are good. There's great songs, and I love that those parts are mixed in. I believe it's the final track, Hexahedron, where it gets sort of, it touches on all those moments, and I love this cover. The only thing that's weird about it, it's the only release on this label. Yeah, I guess they never really quite got out of the way with the Mountain connection, so this album was not really well received. It's been bootlegged. One thing I'll say, I got this. This is like the RCA Dynaflex, if not worse, but it sounds great. It's on the, like I said, the good label. There's bootlegs. There's a Gerson reissue of this. This is the original press. For all you, like I said, you love psych, you love sort of rural psych rock, don't like the Grateful Dead, but sort of like the idea of what they do. Boom. Mountain Bus. Also Relatively Clean Rivers. Get the Phoenix reissue because you'll never see an original or have the money to pay for it. If you can get that, I'll put the picture here because it's an essential album. Maybe I'll show it real quick if I can dig it out. It's yeah, here it is right behind me. Fantastic. So that's my vinyl finds of the year. Thanks. I'm gonna do a Christmas record video and my third part of the Kraftwerk. Well, Kraftwerk's coming up in my krautrock showing, and maybe some other things, more best ofs. Yeah, thank you. Check out my radio show. I've been working hard on it, trying to put new types of themes together. There's a bunch more coming every week. It's Sunday at 7. The links are below to that. And the Vinyl Archivist. Thanks for throwing out that contest. Hopefully I can win that Coltrane record because I don't own. I know Blue Train quite well, but I do not own a copy right now. I have a CD copy. I still have a lot of CDs, but I've been waiting, deciding what Blue Train I should sort of go after. So that'll be awesome to get the Music Matters, I think it was. All right. Take care, everyone. Hope you're having a great holidays. See you next time.